This is the 2020 Motobecane HAL Boost Eagle 27.5 Plus. I spent countless hours over several weeks looking for a good full suspension bike around the $2,000 price point. I knew with that kind of budget I would have to make some sacrifices, so after looking at every manufacturer I knew of and about a dozen more that I didn't, I was able to narrow it down to 2 bikes. Problem was, both were out of stock due to the ongoing bike shortage. I had all but given up, accepting that I was destined to scour the used market until something turned up. But then, at the 11th hour, I remembered bikesdirect.com. I had looked at some of their low to mid-range bikes in the past, but they had always struck me as very plain, outdated, cross-country style bikes. But then, I saw it, the HAL Boost Eagle. When I saw the price and the specs, I almost didn't believe it, like I literally thought it might be a scam. Everything I had looked at in this price range had an SX drivetrain or NX at best, a low to mid-grade fork like a Recon or a Sector, but this bike is equipped with a 150 travel RockShox Pike Debonair and a SRAM GX Eagle 1x12. I read the rest of the specs and a couple reviews and bought it right there on the spot. It was a Sunday and I received it the same week on Friday. I'll be honest, I wasn't super impressed by the single picture they had on the website. It wasn't ugly, but it wasn't particularly good looking either. My opinion did change quite a bit after pulling it out of the box though. I instantly noticed the beautiful matte finish and the amount of detail and the machining on the frame. Though I'm sure it wasn't intended to be a work of art, they struck a great balance between clean, hard lines and sleek curves throughout the frame. The frame is made by Kinesis, a Taiwanese manufacturer that also makes frames for Santa Cruz, Trek, GT, Kona, and several other big names. You'll get a pair of cheap metal flat pedals with reflectors in the box, but I immediately threw on my Crank Brothers Stamp 1 composite pedals. So let's get into the specs. Like I mentioned earlier, the drivetrain is a very impressive SRAM GX Eagle 1x12, which is as beautiful as it is effective. I was previously riding an 1136 Shimano 1x10. After jumping on this bike, I immediately noticed a boost in low speed control and climbing ability due to the lower gears. The shifting is also incredibly smooth and was set up perfect out of the box, just had to bolt on the derailleur. Between the RockShox Pike and the RockShox Monarch on the rear, I immediately noticed the increase in traction I now had as opposed to my old hardtail. That and the ability to soak up roots and bumps gives you nothing but confidence as you fly down the trail. The HAL stands for Highly Active Linkage, which you can see right away as there are 3 linkages on the rear frame as opposed to the standard 2. The tubeless ready plus size Maxxis tires add even more stability and control. With boost size front and rear bolt through axles, this bike feels extremely solid. When you need to slow it down, the Shimano Dior XT M8000 hydraulic disc brakes and 2-piece rotors do an incredible job of delivering the stopping power. These are dual piston calipers with 180mm rotors. Cockpit feels great with the single finger lever brakes and GX shifter. The bars, stem and grips are nothing special, but they get the job done. They're probably all components I'll replace later on. Having the internally routed 100mm KS dropper post is definitely nice and arguably a necessity for most riders these days. The wheels seem to be the one place they didn't go all out. The WTB I-29 rims laced to gravity hubs are nothing to write home about, but they do get the job done. The saddle is also WTB, and while not top shelf, I've seen more expensive bikes come with worse. One thing I want to point out, because it wasn't very clear about it on the website, is that all the cables on this bike are internally routed. I was really pleased to see that. There are some outer cable mounts under the top tube as well. I'm really not sure why. As far as the sizing goes, I'm about 5'9", and their 43cm size fits great. I'm also about 160 pounds and did have to add some air to the front and rear suspension, so you'll probably have to do the same before you ride it. All in all, this is an incredible bike for the money. I've had it for a couple weeks now and still can't believe how great it is. Looking at everything else on the market in this price range, I can't think of any reason not to buy this bike. What's up guys, thanks for watching my review video. I hope you found it helpful. I've got the link for the bike in the description below, so make sure you check that out. If you have any questions about it, just drop me a comment. I'd be happy to answer it for you. I've got a lot more cool content coming, so make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I'm going to be doing things like trail reviews, gear reviews, and tutorials. So make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.